Thank you for the opportunity that has been given to me to comment upon the bill, namely the Weapons of Mass Destruction and the Delivery System Prohibition of Unlawful Activities Amendment Bill 2022. Sir, I am happy that the government has brought the bill to strengthen the earlier legislation which was brought during the UPA government in 2004 and 2005. Sir, I recall India's role in the domain of disarmament. Sir, ever since the independence, India's foreign policy has been pursuit of global nuclear disarmament. Sir, in 1998, at the special sessions of the United General Assembly on disarmament at New York, the then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi gave a proposal to the United Nations for a phased elimination of nuclear weapon in a time-bound framework. But that attempt was not succeeded since some of the countries were not cooperating at the time. Ever since, time and again we proved that India's status, though we got status as nuclear weapon state, we did not mitigate our stand that our objective is nuclear weapon-free world. Sir, India all along advocated an international non-proliferation agreement under which nuclear weapon states would agree to stop to produce the fissile material of weapon purpose. But all the attempts, including the proposal that was given by then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi, were futile, since nuclear weapon power states, those who are declared as nuclear weapon power states, are not willing to accept some of the terms which was proposed by Rajiv Gandhi and in that time. Sir, we have come across in 1972 and 1998 some exercise like in Pokhran, but that does not give any face to us that we are against the disarmament. We proved that all our efforts in this nuclear domain is only for our security and integrity. Sir, the bill is aimed to fulfill the limited purpose, mainly prohibit financing of any activity in relation to weapons of mass destruction and freeze such accounts if any. That is the only provision available in the bill. As such, it is completely consequential to the earlier legislation. As such, everybody in the House has to welcome it. There is no deviation in the stand. Sir, on the other hand, by using this occasion, I want to touch some infirmities in the NPT, Non-Proliferation Treaty. Though we are not party to that, but letter and spirit of the record, we are abiding the NPT treaty. Not as a member of the NPT, but as a follower of NPT, we are strictly following the treaty. As such, I want to recall some memories. Sir, whether these legislations passed by India or any other country in NPT or non-NPT, what type of tangible achievements is going to give? That is apprehension in every mind of the people. Irrespective of state, irrespective of political entity of the state, those who really wants to have peace by making such a legislation in the respective parliament, there is the mechanism we are having to implement it in a holistic manner. That is the problem. My friend from National Indian Congress says we are having no adequate mechanism in terms of aircrafts, in terms of other mechanism to curb this menace. But when we are making legislation like this, to implement such a legislation, what type of treaty we are going to enter with other countries. Suppose these countries are not in our line. What will be the solution? What will be the purpose of these legislations? I am having my own doubt. Sir, what happened in what America did in Iran in the name of checking proliferation? By using the proliferation, America entered into Iran and did all these inhuman activities. And mass destruction was done in the name of proliferation. Nobody can stop it. America did it in Iran. Now what happened in Ukraine? The same America not able to stop in Ukraine. Russia cannot be stopped by the same America. Wrong was done by America. Now some other wrong is being done by Ukraine. But both the countries were silent. The entire Russia, the entire humanity is in peril, in sufferings. So that is why I am having my own apparition. I want to submit before the House. I want to invite the attention of the Honorable Minister through you, sir. Making legislations in these domains, I think that cannot be a holistic approach to curb the menace. Some treaty, some international treaty, let it be initiated through United Nations. I think that my learned friend, Honorable Minister, is having rich experience through his service in various countries. You might have had many ministers, many political heads of the countries across the world. You must have witness of incidents in respective countries where you worked. So what we need is, state-wise legislation is, yes, it is essentially needed. But collectively and holistically, what will be the mechanism through the United Nations or any other forum to curb or not only curb the menace, to implement this type of legislation irrespective of state boundaries in a proper manner, in letter and spirit manner. So that has to be addressed properly. Sir, similarly, what type of hypocrisy is being perpetuated in North Korea by America? There are more and more incidents in the world. What is happening in Ukraine as such? But the countries, including America, now become helpless to address these issues. There are 100 incidents where pilferages in black market by underworld of passing nuclear knowledge and materials and equipments. Minister might have come across all these things. Sir, at present, as reported, there are an estimated 34,500 nuclear weapons are in existence over 50 countries, excluding weapons with the terrorists. This House aware, few years back, a Pakistani nuclear scientist has stirred the issue of transfer of technology with regard to nuclear weapons by proliferating them to the other countries. World has witnessed. What happened? A new emerging situation. An emerging challenge about the proliferation has arisen as a scientist of our neighbor country has violated the commitment given to us by Lahore Declaration. What Lahore Declaration says, Minister must aware, that was entered between the Atal Bihari Vajpayee and the Musharraf. I quote, Lahore Declaration. The two sides will engage bilateral consultation on nuclear doctrines to develop confidence building to avoid conflicts between us. This declaration was done at Lahore by the then Prime Minister Vajpayee and Musharraf. Whether it was followed by Pakistan, bilateral talks, agreements, treaties, diplomatic relations at the minister level or ambassador level or secretary level, these are all become mockery nowadays. That is why government has to think what type of mechanism we can put forth before the United Nations to address these issues holistic manner. Sir, there is a big market of nuclear trafficking, as United Nations report says. Sir, in the report suspects there are underworld operations enormously backed behind. Still no holistic approach. Sir, few years back, United Nations Security Council requires all states to adopt measures to criminalize the assistance to acquire weapons of the mass destruction. I think that this bill is brought in the line of the United Nations Security Council to fulfill the obligation, I think. Am I correct? I think. Sir, for this reason, I welcome the efforts taken by the Honorable Minister and the government. I conclude the words of the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh in his first address to the nation. I quote, India is responsible nuclear power. We will continue to work to prevent proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. At the same time, we remain committed to the goal of universal nuclear disarmament, unquote. Sir, I am happy this government also keeping the commitment which was given by Dr. Manmohan Singh without reservation and criticism. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Professor Saugata Roy ji.